Hello, and welcome back to the Otaku Oasis podcast, where we are finally continuing our coverage of My Hero Academia.
What do you mean, finally? We never took a break.
No, our YouTube history doesn't show that either. Anyways,
It's
I'm
not
your
like
host,
it's been,
Joshua.
3 months? 2 months? Probably 3. Yeah,
Probably around
definitely
3.
3.
Anyways, host Joshua here with...
Hi, I'm Matthew. Twitch.tv/Tyrion King.
Alright, and we're talking about the Stain arc today, which covers episodes 26 through 33 of the anime, and chapters 45 to 59 of the manga.
Yes. How do we want to start this off? Do we want to do a recap of what happened last time?
I mean, Sports Festival happened.
Yeah, but I mean,
Internships are a big thing that you can get from it. We'll
the
talk
thing.
about it a little bit.
I was gonna say the event that really kicked this arc off that happened last time.
Oh yeah, the hero killer, which we definitely did talk about last time. But
yeah, we did. But it's also been 3 months.
True. And also Ida's brother being hospitalized because of the hero killer.
That's
Those
what
are
I
the
was looking
important
for.
things.
Yes, last time on Otaku Oasis My Hero Academia review.
Those are the 3 important things that we need to know before moving forward.
Yes.
So, we start off with hero aliases. I'm not going to talk about every single name, but they get hero aliases.
Yeah, there's some that we don't need to talk about. I do really like...
There's 3 important ones to bring up, but...
Really? I'd go with 4. I mean, Midoriya... I'm assuming you're not counting Midoriya, right?
I'm counting Midoriya.
Oh, because my 4 would be Midoriya, Todoroki, Bakugo, and Ida. Those are the 4 important ones that I'd go for, because 3 of them didn't actually come up with a name by the end.
But yeah, I was talking about the 3 that actually came up with one by the end. Really,
okay.
Which just like the Bakugo's one I just didn't care about.
Okay, hold on. Can we talk about what his actual? Can we talk about what his actual name is? No, we'll do it at the end.
Okay.
Yeah. Remember, we agreed with My Hero stuff. If we wanted to talk about it, we had to talk about it at the end.
If it's spoilers related, yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so who did you want to talk about?
Just the 3 who use their actual names, basically.
So Midoriya, Ida, and Todoroki?
Yep.
I mean, but does Midoriya's really even count, though? It's not really his name.
Kinda. It's his nickname.
I still think it's
called by most people.
I still think it's the biggest middle finger he could give to Bakugo.
True.
I really like that he made that his hero name. I really like that, he stuck with Uradaka's idea of taking something bad and twisting it into something new.
Mm-hmm. Todoroki's fits just because of the arc that he went through last time.
Also, the fact, I like that he specifically chose his first name because he refused to be associated with his father.
At this point, yeah.
Yes. Does he have a hero name in... Never mind, I'll ask later.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. And then the most important one is Ida.
Ida, who...
Did he go with Tenya or Ida? He went with Tenya, right?
Yeah, he went with Tenya, but he was very much tempted to go with what was
Ingenium.
it? Ingenium.
Yeah.
Because a lot of this arc is about taking up a mantle.
Yes, I mean, that's what this whole show is about, really.
True, but I just mean by, like,
this arc in specific.
This arc in specific deals with 3 characters dealing with how to go about that.
Yeah.
And so then basically after that we get to hear about basically the internship chances, and that Midoriya didn't have any, and
I still have issues with that.
Perfectly understandable. I mean,
it is understandable, but no one was willing to take a chance on the kid. Absolutely no one. You saw how far he got. Yeah,
but also he's a self-destructing person.
Yeah, they weren't privy to the conversation going on at the time.
Yeah,
They
I
couldn't tell what
mean,
was being said.
yeah.
Even though I
Also,
don't even think what's being said would make it better, let's be honest.
yeah. Also, not to mention, just Midoriya blowing up his hand constantly in that match.
Yeah. I don't know. I think someone. I feel at least. How many pro heroes are out there? None of them were willing to take a chance on this kid. I don't know. It seems a
Yeah,
little.
I mean, technically, one
One
was willing
did.
to take a chance, but
Only
just
because he was obligated to.
a
So
bit, yeah.
there was a conversation All Might and Midoriya had in this episode. It almost sounded like All Might was going to take him on for the internship. I don't know if I'm just reading into it, but he said, I could train you, but if you really want, you can go to Gran Torino's.
Mm, I
How
don't
would that
know
have?
if
I
that.
like
I
it.
don't know if that's what it was necessarily going for, maybe, because at least like I don't know how like it's been a while since I've watched the anime, so I don't entirely know
Yeah,
how I phrase this, but there was like a scene before where basically All Might got informed of Gran Torino's
yeah, Gran Torino. Yeah, no, it was
like
after Gran
application
Torino
thing.
gave it. After he gave Gran Torino's offer to him, he's like, if you really feel like it's the right call, you can go to Gran Torino. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I was reading into it, but I don't remember the exact phrasing, but I got the feeling like All Might was saying, I can train you, but you may want to go to Gran Torino instead.
Maybe maybe it could just be how you read it, but
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
But
We also then after that get just a little hint at something revealed a little bit later in the arc for hinting at the return for All for One.
well, yeah, that I was also thinking. We get the
At the
shot.
Nomus.
Yeah, we get the Nomus. We also get um Ida submitting his well, first off, Ida's just been acting really weird this whole episode. Like he
Yeah,
won't interact with his friends.
it definitely seems to be more of an anime thing. I'll just
Yeah.
say this now: the manga has enough scenes to show Ida's like. I mean, honestly, they show Ida's secrecy in like basically like 2 panels, and it comes across pretty well. But the anime they
Yeah.
add in scenes.
I don't know. I like how it shows that Ida's just not coping well and he's not doing the right things. But we also get a scene of I think Aizawa is going through who picked what, and Ida has one choice and one choice only,
Mhm.
and it is with
Yeah.
Manuel, who works in Hosu. If you don't remember, Hosu is where Ingenium, the original
Ingenium was
Ingenium,
broken.
got hurt by Stain.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that scene was in the manga either, but like we see it later, and like you can kind of connect the dots that it's in Hosu City, basically,
Yeah,
because they say it's in Hosu City. So,
yeah. But yeah, that was the only choice Ida picked. He did not pick a second or third choice.
mhm. So basically, everyone starts heading out to their internships. Deku says something which he narrates then from basically his future self, saying that he regretted not helping further.
Yes, I think he
Um,
says something about in the coming days they would look back and regret not doing more. Actually, I do have a
mhm.
question. While we're on the topic of picking interns, uh, like I understand the reason Todoroki picked Endeavor. It was to help learn his fire.
Mhm.
But they've also stated that fire quirks are a dime a dozen. He couldn't have picked anyone else.
I mean, but also fire comes out in different ways.
That's
It
true.
quirks, does it not?
I don't know. I think at this point, Todoroki still doesn't want to interact with Endeavor. You think he would have picked someone else?
Oh no, I mean I 100% agree, but also I have to say we're better to learn how to harness a fire quirk that is very similar to yours
Than
than
the
by the
person who gave
person
it to
who
you.
birthed you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like I get it, but I don't know.
Oh
It
no,
feels kind of out of
don't.
character
But
with the Todoroki in that point
oh,
in time.
it was begrudgingly.
Yeah, no,
Like
definitely.
it was very begrudgingly that he
It
did
also
it.
was to put all of the key players in.
Supposed to, yeah.
Yeah, make sure everyone was at the point they needed to be so this could continue.
What? No, no, definitely wasn't meant to
It's
be
not
all
like
Hotsu.
definitely not like
No.
it's definitely not like they're orchestrating how this is gonna work.
Or that basically Todoroki became really popular after the sports festival and basically became one of the main characters, overstepping Ida, but whatever.
Yeah.
I have
No,
nothing
I
wrong with it,
do.
but honestly, like the main three, but
Yeah.
two of those definitely stepped over two others, but that's fine.
What was the? Do you think the main three was originally supposed to be Uraraka, Ida, and Midoriya?
Most likely.
I almost would like. I do get, you know, Midoriya, Bakugo, and Todoroki. That makes sense. Though that's going to be the big three of UA when they get to that point. Like you cannot tell me otherwise. They will be the big three.
No, and I'm not disagreeing.
Yeah, but I almost would have preferred to see the big three be Ida, Uraraka, and Midoriya. See, the
Yeah.
issue with that, I feel like if it had been that, it would have been a lot more of like a Harry Potter thing, where
Yeah.
it's
No, I
it's
definitely understand it.
always
Like,
those three.
well,
But
not to
then
mention
again,
also
yeah,
just the like nothing wrong with Uraraka and Ida, but like that grouping of three was kind of bland in a way. Like
yeah.
not in a bad way, just
Wait, what'd you say was kind of planned?
bland.
Oh, bland? I don't know. I liked it.
Like not saying it's wrong, just like
Like I
I don't
kind of
know.
understand Ida and
Like
Midoriya's friendship.
it's not like there wasn't room for growth, but it just seems like it would get stagnant pretty quick. Is
I can
all.
see that. I also can see why Midoriya and Ida could be such good friends. Because I mean, if you look at Ida, that man looks like he's never had a friend in his life. Have you seen him?
Yeah. I
So
mean,
I think
also
Ida and Midoriya would
the way
be.
that he's like pretty straight laced and whatnot.
Yeah, I think Ida and Midoriya would be somewhere similar in like socially aspect, like
Mhm.
in a social development standpoint. I feel like they'd be on equal footings,
Mhm.
and I think I feel like all three of them never had a bunch of friends in that original Deku squad with Ida, Midoriya, and Uraka. None of them feel like they
Mhm.
had a bunch of friends before.
Yeah. I think also it just kind of helps that Todoroki and Bakugo are probably easier to plan fights around.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I think Uraka is very. I still think Uraka is what we see what her quirk can do. It's insane.
Mhm. It just also requires a lot of planning and very situational.
Yeah, well, I meant like in
No,
season
like
five.
nothing against
No,
it.
like in season five, what we
Oh,
see. The you know who the da da ba da ba. We'll talk about it in the spoiler
we'll
section.
talk about it later.
Yeah. I feel like I should be taking
um,
notes of what we're going to talk about later so I can remember to bring it up again.
yeah, you should probably do that.
Let me make a text document.
While you do that, I'm gonna
Yep.
just transition us to Deku meeting Gran Torino at this place. Basically, being surprised at how old Gran Torino is because I don't know exactly what Deku was expecting with that, but
I'm trying
he
to
also
remember
I
what the
guess
second thing we brought up. I remember the first one. I remember the third one.
I don't know if you remember, just type it down.
Yep.
Yeah. And so basically, Gran Torino decides to show off that despite his age, he's still got it.
Oh yeah, no, that man is spry.
Yeah.
Like I don't. Actually, I didn't realize until rewatching it this time. I don't know why it never registered in my head, but I've never understood why Gran Torino was retired until I rewatched it again because I must have missed the first time watching, but they do talk about it at the end.
What is it? I kind of like spent through the arcs to be
So
honest.
basically,
So.
Gran Torino never wanted to be a hero. He was only a hero as a favor to Nana.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's
That's
why
what
he
it
became a
was.
teacher and a hero, is because it was
For Nana.
it was a favor for Nana, and then once he taught All Might, he didn't really see it, and he didn't want to be a part of it
See any
anymore.
need for it? Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm surprised he kept his hero license for that long, because they can't be for life.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, potentially with how long he would have had to like been a teacher for, it might have been just at that point where it's like, yeah, it extends to like, about to like you're 70 or something. So
Well, you'd think like it'd be like a driver's license where it'd last for so many years, then you'd have to
renew it, but
you'd have to like either renew it or take like a just a quick placement test, or like after so many years, after like every 6 years, you'd need to get like an audit done on you and make sure you're doing your job right, so they can issue you a new one.
maybe I don't know. The hero's license really isn't expanded too
Also, the hero
much.
commission is not the best. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Then again, what government organization is? Oh.
Yeah, but I believe at this point Deku like is told to like spar with him basically, so he puts on his gets his updated suit at this point.
Which I so much prefer.
It's so much better than that.
Thank you. Let's be honest, everyone's updated suits are infinitely better than their old original ones. Do you remember Todoroki's original suit? That was awful.
Isn't it still about the same?
No, remember, he had the ice like covering half of his face with the red dot and the white shirt.
Oh, you said Todoroki. I was thinking Bakugo.
No, Todoroki's original costume was awful.
Todoroki's original one was pretty bad, yes.
Like I almost want to believe that original costume was purposely made as ugly as possible just to get back at his father.
Yeah,
just sticking it to the old man.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but after he became a fleshed out character in the sports festival arc, he just suddenly has a better costume as well.
Yeah, magically how that works, huh?
Yeah.
Did anyone else get costume changes?
I mean, Bakugo has like a winter version of his costume,
I think,
but that's
everyone has, or most people have slight differences. I know Momo gets a cape for winter. I think Uraraka got one at some point, but I don't think anyone got like major costume. Like, I think her helmet changed, and that's about it.
It's like slightly, but not that.
Yeah,
much.
she got rabbit ears.
Yeah.
Funny how that one works.
Like, yeah, there isn't really too much of like, there's like small upgrades really.
Yeah.
Like, really, Todoroki and Deku are the ones who go through the biggest costume changes. Deku for obvious reasons. Todoroki.
Well, yeah. I gotta wonder how well Ida's costume works for him.
I mean,
it's a suit of plate armor that can't be light and easy to run in.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't seem to be locking up his joints or anything. I mean,
No,
as long
but
as he can move with it on.
It'd be hectic. Imagine how much faster he could go if he took off that heavy suit of armor.
I mean, do we even know what metal is made of? It could be very lightweight.
That's true. That's 100% true. It's also magic anime. Actually, no. And we did get confirmation this time. I did remember we were discussing it in one of the previous episodes. I had mentioned I thought I heard somewhere that there was something about like a timeline being weird. In this episode, when All Might is talking about the origins of One for All, and on this episode in this like arc, All Might's talking about one. Yeah, towards the end, All Might is talking about One for All, and he mentions, the origins of Quarks, and Midoriya says, "Yeah, I remember reading somewhere. If Quarks hadn't happened, we'd likely be vacationing in the stars by now."
Mm-hmm.
So it really makes you wonder what year they're in.
It's the year 20XX.
Yeah, but like, is it actually 20XX?
No, I'm just using that as the joke here because
that's what anime always does.
No, it's just what like whenever like games or I guess sometimes anime as well. Want to be vague about years, they just do 20XX, meaning it's sometime in the 2000s. When it is, we'll never know.
I don't know. I saw an interesting fan theory, and I'm gonna repeat that this was a fan theory. Remember how All Might's like debut was like a major event?
Mm-hmm.
And remember how he was in America at the time?
Mm-hmm.
So there's this fan theory, and the lighting doesn't really match up that well, I know. But there's a fan theory that, what if All Might's debut was like 9/11 or something to that effect?
That doesn't sound great.
It doesn't, but, I mean, that would put them at least in the year, let's see, All Might's 50, he would have been debuting at like 18. So, All Might's 50, then that would have been 2040 something, 2040, 2030 something. I don't know. Who knows where we'll be in 20 years?
Yeah, I don't know. I just I don't really care too much about when my
I don't
year
know.
takes
Just
place. So
fun things to think about. Does that mean Aizawa is a Gen X or Gen Z?
yeah, I'm not gonna get into that.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Back on topic.
Yeah, we get into Deku's training with Gran Torino, basically.
I always love how he doesn't get it until something pops up, and immediately he gets it. It's like he's just not. I don't know. It seems to happen a lot with him.
Yeah, his analogies always come from the weirdest places.
But it's always funny. That kid is so smart in analysis for everyone else except himself.
I mean, it's also hard, like,
to analyze yourself. I get it.
Also, Gran Torino basically mentions this one thing of where basically he idolizes this quirk. Basically,
oh yeah, he does.
Not one for all Mights.
Yeah, he idolized his. I think like the phrase was, your idolization for All Might like chains you down or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something along those lines.
Something to that effect.
And basically that he needs to learn how to make it his own, and so basically he tries to figure that out overnight. He doesn't really get any results until he figures it out from the whole Taiyaki microwave.
Yeah. Also, he mentions two names and he says blank were right. I know one of them was Aizawa. Who was the other one? Was it Kirishima?
I'm not entirely sure.
I know it was one of his classmates in Aizawa. He said they were right, and that if he could just if he could find a way to properly wield it, he could do so much. He could. I don't know. I just remember he mentioned. I know he mentioned Aizawa. Two people by name. One of them was Aizawa. The other one was one of his classmates. I think it was Kirishima. It's like, hey, they were right. If he could figure out how to like limit the power, he'd be able to do so much with it.
Alright. And so throughout this, we get like kind of glimpses of like the other students' internships. We see Kirishima and Tetsu are the same internship. We see.
I love Kirishima and Tetsu's relationship.
They honestly have a really good friendship.
They're, joke theory. They're twins that were separated at birth.
I mean, honestly, could kind of see that.
I could see it.
But because they're just too alike.
Yeah.
I think that's also kind of the joke.
I think that is the joke. I also love Tetsu's name. It's literally just Tetsu.
Which is just iron.
He is the real Iron Man.
Yeah, his name is.
Does that make him Japanese Colossus from like the X-Men?
Not entirely wrong comparison, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we see Bakugo with Pestinus, and Pestinus basically saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna."
Yeah, you're just wrong. I'm gonna fix you. I'm gonna make you good. But it is fascinating because like you see later down the line, he takes these lessons to heart.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
We could definitely get into this a bit more later, but
speaking of Genus, I have a kind of a major spoiler I want to ask you about season 5 at the end of this. So.
Okay. Yeah, and who else? We see Momo and.
Oh, what's Kendo?
Yeah, that's what it was. at their internship. I
Yes.
forget how much of it. Like
We don't see a
like
lot. We just see Uwabami ruthlessly using them for her own gain. Like,
yeah.
I don't know why Aizawa was okay with sending them to her.
I mean, they were definitely used for commercial stuff. But
They didn't even do any hero work.
well, I mean, it
I don't
goes
think
to
they learned
show.
anything.
Yeah, I mean, though, I do
I think
think
it
it
goes to
was
show
kind
the
of meant
issue.
to show. It was more meant to show how varied hero work could become, basically, at this point. I think.
Yeah,
But
I get that was the intention, but it also just gives off the vibe that Uwabami is the reason Stain exists, or is like Uwabami is a shining example of the reason Stain exists.
yeah, and we'll definitely get into Stain later. I'm kind of
Yeah,
saying like Stain
yeah, Stain and his
entire
ideology.
thing as
Yeah,
like towards the end.
yeah. I think we could go into a discussion about that because
Yeah,
I have
that's
a
why I'm saving
lot
it
to
towards
say.
the end.
I have a lot to say about that man.
At least for the spoiler-free section. Actually, heck, we might even have it link it to the spoiler section at this
Actually,
point.
that too. I also don't have a lot spoilers. Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess the effects of his thing would be spoilers, wouldn't it?
Not really. We kind of see like the beginning effects of it because they allude to it.
Yeah, that's fair. But I mean, I guess the real, I mean, the long-lasting effects could be spoilers.
yeah, the long-lasting effects. The immediate effects, though, we
Yeah, the
kind of see.
immediate effects we see. Yeah, I mean, immediately. Yeah. Okay. So we see Uwabami, totally using the kids for her own
And I
favor.
believe we see Uraraka with Gunhead.
I love Gunhead. I wish we would see more. I wish we got to see more of him.
Honestly, yeah.
I think Gunhead is probably one of my favorite pro heroes out there. I think my
Yeah,
favorites are like I also recognize a lot of my favorite pro heroes are to the effect of Gunhead, so like Gunhead, Fat Gum, people like that. You know,
I don't know.
just the
I really
genuinely
like,
happy ones.
I don't know. I always just really like the design of Ryukyu, I believe.
Ryukyu, the dragon one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryukyu. That's a good choice.
I always just like the design and the power. The power is pretty cool
The
too.
power is pretty cool. Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then we get Ida's we get a flash towards Ida, and he's
Yeah,
in Hosu City, and he's
I'll ask it when we get to the spoiler section again. Let me mark it down.
yeah. I'll just continue with what I was saying.
Yep.
And basically Ida's just kind of looking around, trying to find the hero killer because he's really on that kind of vengeance streak right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and Manuel even admits he knew.
Yeah.
I don't know why Manuel just like, yeah, you gotta go.
Yeah, it's just I don't know because I don't know. I guess it's just I don't know. Maybe he thinks it isn't affecting him as much as it actually is.
Yeah, maybe it's like, well, if I have him here, I can keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
That's probably what it was. Like, I can keep an eye on him if I have him here and make sure he doesn't do anything stupid.
Most likely,
Newsflash,
yeah.
didn't work.
Yeah. So basically, after that, Deku flashback to Deku having gotten the beginning hanging of full cowling 5%.
Yes.
And basically after that, Gran Torino basically says, "Okay, you can definitely practice with it more, but for now, we're gonna go on an actual mission and whatnot."
Yeah. How? Okay. Like timeline wise, where are we? Like, how long has it been since he's left UA at this point? It's been like what? Maybe 2 days, if that.
Yeah, I'm maybe
I think this is the end of day 2.
days. Yeah, day 2, day 3-ish.
Yeah, like this goes really quickly.
Yeah, no, it's a fast arc. I love this arc though. This was one of the arcs when I was first reading that was oh yes, I definitely want to keep reading more.
Yeah, I remember this feeling like it took longer than the first time. I remember I thought Midoriya was there for at least 3 or 4 days the first time I watched it.
Honestly,
he's in and he's going. Like,
yeah. I mean, this arc is kind of short. I mean, if you consider like 7 episodes and 16 chapters short, but I mean,
yeah.
I mean, comparatively to what I read, it is short. But
I mean, compared to what we were doing, we were recording a minute ago. No, it is not short. It is longer than the last 4 or 5 arcs we've recorded.
Yeah, it's longer than the last 2 arcs that we recorded as a whole.
Yes.
And that was 7 episodes as well.
Yeah, I think both episodes we watched, both things we did were 7 episodes each, and that was 2 arcs each. So yeah, it's about maybe no. There was a lot. There was a lot. How many arcs would you count in that first episode of Demon Slayer?
Demon Slayer we covered the first 2 arcs in episodes 1 through 7, and
okay, so that was just 2 arcs.
Through 14.
That's what I figured. I figured there were only 2 official arcs, but I just didn't know what was classified in those arcs.
I mean, of course, this is just all like fan arc separation and whatnot. For the
yeah,
most
no,
part.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to My Hero. So they head out to go fight some villains in Tokyo, or one of the suburbs of Tokyo.
Yes, but they get intruded on by the way by basically the Nomus and Stain.
Yes,
in a semi-alliance with
Shigaraki. I still find it hilarious. It's wow. I really wonder how Ida's doing. I should text him. Bam! Oh, guess we're gonna go find out now.
Because the plot happens to Deku.
Yeah, because plot.
And so basically, from here, I believe we mostly end up focusing on like Ida and Stain, like Deku shows up.
Yes.
But, in this, we kind of get like Ida's speech about like how Ingenium is like kind of role model to him, and how basically Stain was wrong.
So I was doing my own research a while ago because I had this burning question as why Stain chose Ingenium, and the only thing I could find out that was like kind of gave an explanation was that maybe it was because he had so many sidekicks.
Yeah, that's really the only reason I could see.
Yeah, it's because he had so many sidekicks, like, and maybe Stain felt like he was using the sidekicks, but
yeah,
if you knew Ingenium at all, you knew he was like the goodest boy.
Yeah, no, and I mean, who's to say how those sidekicks were? No.
Yeah, but
I mean,
I don't know. It's just one of those like, from what we know of Ingenium, it doesn't make any sense as to why he would be chosen.
Yeah. I mean, other than that, he runs a company with sidekicks.
Yeah. I think he has 50 sidekicks.
Yeah, something along those lines. I mean, I have to assume not all of them are as upright as Ingenium was.
Yeah, but why go after Ingenium himself then?
I don't know, because the head represents the whole. I don't know.
I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's because Stain wasn't right. Who knows? We'll get to that in a bit.
Yeah. And so anyways, we have but also Ida, like, Ida mentions that he can't move. Deku then comes in with the save.
Yeah, well, actually, first off, Ida runs up and finds Stain is attacking a hero named Native, which, man, is that costume just not okay.
Yeah, I don't even.
I'm looking at that costume like, whoo, what's the internet think about this one, boys?
I mean, I don't know. It's a minor character, honestly.
It is.
But...
It feels like one of those things that like the internet could go crazy if they saw.
Okay, and One Piece has 2 characters called King Taco and King Hamburger. Guess what those are supposed to represent?
I get it. Okay, that's funny though. Okay, no, you're right. But yeah, the issue.
And I mean, they're just minor characters in the background, basically.
The issue Stain has with Ida at this point is that when he showed up, He did not even notice Native. All he was focused on was
Stain.
killing Stain. That is why Stain's like, oh, well, you gotta die now.
I forget, if the hero says, like, to get out of here to Ida.
I don't remember. He definitely says it at some point. He probably says it a lot. I just don't know how many times he said it.
I just know at least, like, it's, like, towards the beginning and whatnot, basically, because, like, basically it says
Well,
that
he also
you need to
says
focus
it.
on saving yourself as well.
Yeah,
but
yeah. He says it to Midoriya. He says it to. Oh. Yep. Okay, I answered my own question. Never mind. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a question about something that I was going to bring up later, but I already have an answer. But I'll share it with you at the end.
All right.
So, what was I saying? Yeah. So I know he says it when when Midoriya shows up. I think he also says it when Todoroki shows up. But I do not remember if he says it when Ida shows up.
Yeah, I forget what it is, but yeah.
I mean, both Ida and Native are telling them to leave the whole time.
Yeah. But anyways, Deku comes in with a save. Stain gets a bit of his blood, and we still don't fully know Stain's quirk by this point. It's only like once Todoroki comes in, and I forget if Stain gets a bit of his blood or not, but I definitely know like
no, I don't think Stain ever.
I think he like barely avoids it.
Yeah, he barely avoids it, but Midoriya's the one that figures it out.
Yeah, and that basically if Stain takes in like you can only take in 2 blood types at a time, but if he takes in your blood, he can leave you paralyzed for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, depending on blood. And do you remember the order?
I don't quite remember it. I just know that
From
Ida
least to
and
most,
Midoriya
it's
were A and B.
You know what I find it actually Midoriya is O.
Midoriya was O?
Yeah, so the lead from least to most, it's O, A, B, and B. The thing I find interesting is that there are no positive and negatives.
Well, I mean, I feel like that wouldn't necessarily like affect it. It's just
it should because depending on positive and negative, that depends on what you can and can't receive. Like AB negative is a universal receiver, but AB positive is a universal donor. I think.
I thought it was O, but
one of them. So one of them's a universal receiver, and one of them's a universal giver, but they're not the same. Like there's a universal receiver that can take anything, and there's a universal giver that can give to anything, but that universal giver cannot receive anything. It can only receive its own type.
Yeah, I remember that.
Know your blood types, kid. It's kind of important.
Yeah.
It'll save you in a pinch. Saying that, I should probably figure out what my blood type is.
I know mine.
What's yours?
Oh.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Negative.
I'd have to look. I don't know off the top of my head. I need to go get a blood draw done for my doctor.
But yeah. Yeah, so basically, and then we get into the fight of Deku, Ida, and Todoroki versus Stain.
It's still one of my favorite fights.
Oh, it still is one of mine, too.
Yeah.
It's only topped by one other fight from later on, but only in the manga. I mean, the anime does it fine. I mean, I prefer the manga still.
Can I take a guess? Because I know...
Yeah,
as
the
soon
spoiler
as you...
section.
Damn.
Well, I mean, you could guess the season.
4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know which one it is. I remember you complaining about it a while ago.
I'm sorry, I really like that.
No, I know. I when we get to it, I'll look at it again because I don't remember it being that bad. But I also do not. It's also been months since I've seen it.
Half of it isn't bad. The other half is.
Yeah, no, I know exactly when. I know for a fact which one you're talking about. Can I remember his name though? Yes, I can.
Yeah, just don't mention it.
I'm not saying it. I'm typing it down.
All right. But anyways, so basically throughout this we get we kind of get like this focus on Todoroki for a little bit of just basically how it seems like he's grown from the sports festival and like basically how like Deku's reminding of opened up like the idea of what he wants to be for a hero and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's basically like saying this out loud to remind Ida.
Yes. I also really love the scene where it's like, I think Ida's like, this is a fight for the Ingenium name, and he's like, really? The Ingenium I knew never had that look.
Yeah.
Like, that was a slap in the face for Ida. It's like, the Ingenium I knew never had that look on his face.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. And then so basically, once Ida gets unparalyzed and basically is reinvigorated because of Todoroki's words, you get this team up between Deku and Ida, and honestly, the panel in the manga, holy cow, the amount of detail for that finishing move.
Can you send me a picture of that?
Yeah, let me see if I can pull it up. Let's see. Let's see. Because, man,
I
I
did
mean,
not spell Ida right.
to be honest though, the detailing in the manga on this thing is freaking insane. Like,
Yeah, I do want to watch
it
it.
is one of the it is like one of the few things that we kind of miss out on in the anime is just
Oh, wow. You are right. I'm looking at some of the manga pictures. Oh, wow.
yeah. Horikoshi goes all out in detailing.
He really does. And
When
then
he
you have
does,
then you see my favorite like pictures you go from the high detail to like the very low res images in the background.
mm-hmm.
Those are always my favorite to see.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, the fight in the anime was okay, but just the detail in the manga was.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at just manga pic clips, just random. They're all so good.
Horikoshi does an amazing job with detailing. It's one of the
Hey,
things I
maybe I'll
really
actually
like
start
about
reading
this.
them, going back and reading the whole. So where do you read older chapters? I mean,
I read
maybe
the
we don't
whole.
do this publicly.
No, 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 it's fine. I've mentioned it in the comment tabs at least for everything because I read them officially through Viz now. So
Oh, Viz has them all. I thought Viz only had a couple.
um, no, Viz has them all if you do their $2 per month subscription fee service.
Ah, fun.
It's only $2, so I mean,
Actually, this I just picked. There was a manga panel that just reminded me of a really cool scene. So, I don't remember what exactly it was, but Stain threw his sword and threw a knife at Todoroki at the same time, and then lunges in to lick his cheek, and then just Todoroki's like, "Nope, get off," and then just explodes him with fire. It's like, nope, you're not allowed to do that. Go away.
yeah, yeah, no, um, yeah, no, I honestly,
Holy. Sorry, I just saw this. Horikoshi do go very hard.
what was it?
The detailing on All Might on that, he go
Oh,
very hard.
yeah. Yeah, no, like I said, All Might goes, not All Might, Horikoshi goes freaking insane with his detailing sometimes, and it's just insane.
I mean, I thought this fight was beautiful animated. Look at that. This fight was amazing
Yeah.
animated. That's also amazing.
Yeah, no. Like I said, the manga has like some really, really great panels. Just
Yeah.
the anime tries its best, but obviously you can't match that detailing.
You can't keep up.
Yeah, with that.
What's
That
the
stuff is
time limit?
really.
Like, what's the time limit? I mean, I guess they have to do so much more, though, in a shorter amount of time.
Yeah, but I mean, they also have like assistants. Well, if you're referring to the anime, it's
Yeah.
also they have to make things more simpler so they can animate better
Yeah,
and
that's the
whatnot.
other thing. Because they have to keep things simple so they can animate it easier. Yeah, that's
Like in a
fair.
manga, you can do like way more detailed panels because you're not having to animate it.
You
It's
don't have
still,
to. You don't have to match it. It's just one picture.
yeah, it's a still frame basically.
Yeah.
And that's why like some things in manga are a lot better just because you can get things like that. But I mean, obviously, I I do like see the benefits in both.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, but then we'll go back to what we said with Demon Slayer. You cannot do what Demon Slayer does in a manga.
Oh no, I definitely agree. That's why I said there's like benefits
Yeah,
in both, you know.
yeah, like you can get a lot crisper and cleaner images on a manga, but you can get a lot cooler scenes with an anime.
Like fight scenes is definitely like benefit in like fluidity of
Yeah.
movement, but
It's like I
in
like being
manga
able to
like
visualize all the scene. In mangas, it feels like you have to just assume what they're doing.
which isn't entirely wrong, but I feel like a lot of the actions like kind of are like pretty well laid out, at least
Yeah.
if you're paneling correctly.
Yeah, there's stuff like, Dragon Ball, I don't see it. Like the Dragon Ball anime, there's a lot of stuff they do in that you probably couldn't get away with. I'm just thinking, like the class where they're just like, or like punching and blocking 100 times in a second. You can't really get away with that well. Depends on how you're doing it.
Not entirely. Actually, Toriyama is pretty good with actually depth of field in manga, like
Well,
a lot better than
I also
most.
don't read a lot of manga, so I'm just making assumptions off of how I would go about drawing it.
Fair enough. I've seen a lot of actually like Dragon Ball like panels and whatnot, and like Toriyama's like depth of perception in like a manga panel is freaking like really good and is like very hard to imitate.
That's fair.
It's honestly why a lot of fights actually started happening in Dragon Ball because basically it used Toriyama's strengths to his advantage.
Yeah, that's fair.
um Dragon Ball was on the verge of getting canceled when it first started.
Really interesting.
Yeah, because like Dragon Ball, you know.
Yeah, the original.
Mm-hmm. Back like when it was like back in like the Pilaf saga type stuff.
Fascinating. Okay, so
Yeah.
where were we?
We just kind of reached the end of the Stain fight, basically.
Yes. Yes.
And so
Sorry,
after this, like,
go for it.
it's kind of the whole aftermath thing. Basically, the police are like, "Hey, we're gonna keep this
I
thing
still
under
love,
wraps."
the MacGuffin rope they just happened to find in that dumpster.
On MacGuffin rope.
They, as soon as they knock out Stain, it's like, we should tie him up. And then Todoroki makes mention, wow, it's really lucky this rope was thrown out that we could use.
Hmm.
The rope that just happened to, imagine if they didn't have that rope in the dumpster, then what would they have done? How would they have tied him up?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really remember rope because.
Yeah,
I
at
don't
least
know.
in the anime, they tie him up with a rope and then just kind of like drag him out to the street.
Oh yeah, no, they just leave him in the street knocked out, to which he comes out again and tries to like start stabbing people again.
Yeah, no, he's in the anime. He's tied up until the Nomu comes around, which I don't even get how. Oh wait, I remember how he gets out because he has a secret knife. Man, they did a bad job at getting rid of his weapons.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
I don't know which is worse, the manga where they just leave him there, or the anime where they
Where
have
they-
a very contrived reason of tying him
yeah,
up.
where they also they say let's to get rid of his weapons and then miss the one that's up his sleeve.
Yeah, I think the
Come on,
manga's better.
that's the first place you have to look is up their sleeve.
Yeah, then the manga's better in that case, just leaving him like thinking that he's knocked out in the streets for the. They were going to grab like security and whatnot, not
Yeah.
security, but like other heroes or whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So then the Nomu.
I was gonna mention actually like the police thing really quick, and that
What's the police thing?
Deku, Ida, and Todoroki were very close to being imprisoned because of what they did. Because they
Arrested.
didn't have a license.
That didn't happen in the anime.
Oh, really?
No,
Oh,
it goes from them coming out in the street.
Well, I'm like jumping around a bit.
Oh,
but,
do you mean like when they're in the hospital?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I was gonna wait till I was gonna go in chronological order.
I just kind of jump around. It's.
I mean, we still need to talk. We probably should.
Don't worry. I loop back around if I miss something. Just
Well,
it's mostly
we should probably go back to Endeavor fighting the Nomus.
Oh, Endeavor fighting the Nomos.
I mean, we should at least mention that as soon as Midoriya rocked up to that battle, he immediately sent out his location to everyone, and that's how Todoroki found him.
Oh, I see. Yeah, right. That's true. Yeah.
He's like, you really gotta put more details in this next time, Midoriya.
Yeah, but I mean, regardless, I mean, Endeavor fights a weak Nomu. It's no big deal.
Yeah,
And he didn't. It's not like he got hurt or anything. So,
sadly. What? I didn't say anything.
um, yeah. And so we get that. We get the What else is there? There's a bit with the villains, but I'm like totally blanking out.
Well, I mean, there was a scene where they, which we totally glossed over. There was a scene where Kurogiri warps in Stain, and then Stain, stabs Shigaraki, and then Stain's like, "You guys suck. I don't want to work with you," and then leaves.
Oh well, yeah, that was the beginning part. I was just gonna take that for later because that was for like the ideals part because it kind of gives an example.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. I'm thinking of all the things we skipped, and
No, you're good. You're good. We can still bring it up later. That's fine. Yeah, no. Otherwise, what else was there? Because there was the hospital thing with the small thing there, but basically the entire situation gets swept under the rug.
Yeah, basically, Endeavor gets to take all the credit for it.
Mm-hmm. And then I think this is the point where we reach like the like basically the villains like starting to kind of gather up because like All for One wants them to, but also because of what Stain did as well.
Yeah.
We also see kind of like just kind of the ending bit. Like after this, we see the ending bit of hero internships that they all did.
Yes.
Which it is interesting to mention that the anime had an original episode, or at least scene, with
Froppy.
Yeah, Froppy.
I wonder why Froppy got the scene. I mean, you really could have given it to anyone. I'm just wondering why they chose Froppy.
Probably because she has something that she actually physically mentions in the manga, so like there's something to build off of.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
And like a lot of the things that they kind of expand on in the anime, for the most part, are like based off of things that were like mentioned in the manga but not delved into. So
yeah,
there's another episode in like an arc a bit later that has this sort of thing too. At least I think, but
I have no clue what you're talking about. Remember to bring that up in the spoilers.
you don't know. Don't worry. I'll bring it up when it comes up actually, because I mean it's not going to be for a little while now, and it's not like plot relevant, but
yeah, but I'm genuinely curious what you're talking about because I have no clue.
Okay. And then basically we return back to school. We get the rescue mission thing where it's like it's kind of a race thing.
Oh, actually, before we go back, the Nomu that snatches Midoriya.
Oh yeah.
All right. Now I know fan theory, but it is credited on the My Hero Academia wiki, so it has got to have some credence, right?
I mean, in a wiki that anyone can edit, I don't know.
Let me have this. People have been talking about it forever, and it made it to the wiki. Let me have this one.
Okay,
so
I have nothing against fan theories. I'm just saying.
Okay, but this one I actually like. This one probably is one of the more believable ones for me. So actually, you know what? I'll bring it up in the spoilers section because the evidence for this ties in with later stuff. Yeah, but something to do with the Nomu. I'll bring it up later.
Right, sounds good. Yeah. So we get to see the short results of Deku's training, in which that he's definitely a lot better at scaling things. Even his classmates are quite impressed.
Yeah, they were all blown away until he slips and conks himself out.
Good job, Deku.
Yes.
And then we get the beginning of the brief history on One for All and All for One.
And I still do not like how All Might does not tell Midoriya
What?
about All for One.
Oh, I thought it was kind of implied though.
No.
It's
All
kind
Might
of
says he defeated him, and then
Oh.
in his head, like, I should tell him. I need to tell him. He needs to
about
know.
the return.
Yeah, about the fact that he thinks he's back, and then he's like, I don't want to burden him with this yet. You should have told him right then and there. As soon as you even had an inkling of a thought that he could be back, you should have told him.
Yeah, well, what can you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that about ends it for everything for the Stain arc.
Besides,
well, actually, except for Stain's ideals.
Yes, ideologies.
I nearly forgot to live back around.
Like, wait a minute. I still got stuff I want to talk about.
Don't worry. I just realized last second too. I'm like, wait, Stain's ideals. All right. The Stain.
Yeah.
That's a new character, huh?
Yeah. Interesting, man. That Stain guy. Do we want to just label this as the spoiler section?
Yeah, this is probably going to be the start of the spoiler section.
So,
as it'll start off non-spoilery, but we will eventually get into some spoiler stuff. Yeah. So we're gonna just say spoiler warning from here on.
Yep. Your warning. This is your warning. Beware for spoilers.
We'll preface this again once we get into the actual spoiler stuff.
Yeah, once we get actually into it, we'll mention it again. But so Stain. What was his real name?
I didn't bother remembering.
I know. I'm on his wiki page right now. Okay. Chiazome Agaku. Words are hard, okay? Shizome, aka Guro, Akaguro. There we go. Chiazome Akaguro. Also known as the Vigilante Stendhal, but more popularly known as the villain, Hero Killer Stain.
Yes.
So, name implied, he kills heroes. But his
who would have guessed? Who would have thunk?
Who would have thought the hero killer killed heroes? I thought he was just an upstanding member of society.
I mean, exactly. I mean, obviously, he just loves to hug puppies and kittens. Clearly.
Yes. So Stain's whole premise is that he kills the unworthy. Any hero that he feels does not deserve the title of hero, he will either kill or wound so bad they cannot continue being a hero.
Mm-hmm. But keep in mind, it is destruction with purpose, not destruction for destruction's sake.
Yes.
Which is why he opposes Shigaraki.
Which is also why I prefer Stain to Shigaraki. I don't think Stain could be a long-term villain, but I prefer him to Shigaraki. You heard it here first, folks. But, what was I saying? So, how many here? Do we have a number of how many people he's killed? It's a lot, right?
There is an official body count in a later thing, and this isn't too much of a spoiler, but it's 32.
Yeah, 32 heroes. Is that just killed, or how many? Is that killed and injured, or just killed?
That's all the heroes he's killed.
Okay, I wonder what his injured count is, because he's killed dozens more, probably. But
he's probably injured dozens more, but his kill count is 32.
Yes, so 32. So obviously, a man who kills, he's kind of a Punisher figure in this world, I would guess, is the closest thing I could relate him to. But
also, if we want to touch on his backstory of being, because he's from UA as well, wasn't he? Originally. Or is that a different villain? I'm confusing him for. I think it's a different villain.
You are. I mean, we're in the spoiler section. I can't say it. I know who you're thinking of. I don't know if
it's
exactly you.
We'll leave it we'll leave it non-spoilery for now. Just
yeah.
Once we get into the more recent Stain stuff from later.
He was in so his wiki says he was in a private hero course high school, but it doesn't say which one.
Okay.
But
Yeah, so I'm definitely confusing it for the other villain.
yeah, one of my favorite villains.
Honestly, mine too.
Back half season 4.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I have his Mochibi. I love it. I want to see if I can find a figure of him somewhere. But
Probably is. With
yeah,
him and his sidekick.
yeah. But so what I was saying. So Stain was a vigilante at some point. Yeah, he was the vigilante Stendhal. Um, that's more covered in the My Hero Academia Vigilantes story.
Which we'll cover eventually at some point.
We'll get to it at some point. But basically, after a while, he took up the mental hero killer Stain and decided that there were too many fake heroes and he must cleanse the populace and leave only the good heroes, which
Mhm.
the only hero he considered really good was All Might.
Or at least those who have the morals of which
Yeah,
are very few and far between.
yeah, and let's be honest, even All Might's not the perfect hero.
Oh no, of course not.
Yeah, I think like Midoriya, Stain has an unhealthy obsession with All Might.
No, it's something that we'll touch on a little bit later because still
Yeah,
just kind of on the surface of Stain. But
but
yeah, just talking about Stain's like ideology as a whole.
um, I it's wrong. Like let me get out. Let me get out and say it's wrong.
Yeah,
He
no,
is wrong.
it's wrong, but you can kind of understand where he's coming from.
He's like
It's
he
like
has
a
the
Thanos
right
thing.
idea in that heroes need to be better. He has the wrong motivation. So yeah, like Thanos is a great way of putting it. He has the right idea, just is taking it about the wrong way.
Yeah.
Um,
Like you can kind of see like the idea behind it, but the methods that are gone about it are entirely
absolutely,
wrong.
yeah. Um, but it's influential and it's popular. I mean, like we've seen it. I mean, Stain even calls out Endeavor as being a false hero.
Mhm.
Now, why he knows that, I don't know.
I mean, it's pretty easy to see in his actions. I mean, it's
Yeah,
not like he wants to become the number one hero just to upstage All Might.
yeah, but is that public knowledge? I mean, I guess it would probably be public knowledge.
I mean, Endeavor practically flaunted it everywhere.
Yeah, that's fair. Um,
Practically
yeah,
his character to the public.
that is. But yeah, I also don't think he does his research when he kills. Like we mentioned it earlier, there was no reason
Mhm.
for him to go after Ingenium.
No.
He probably saw the sidekicks and said, "Wow, this guy's bad. Let me do something about it," without
Yeah,
actually
it's
looking
more of
into who Ingenium was.
it's like he basically went after, I'd assume, like any hero that kind of made a profit and whatnot.
I think that's what it is. Which, let's be
Yeah.
honest, All Might probably made the most profit out of all of them. That man is probably loaded. You got to think the number one hero's salary is really big.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah. I do think Stain, if we're going to look at the whole story, from what we see so far, Stain is the beginning of the end. I think that's a fair assessment, right?
Of like basically the start of the downfall.
Yes. I
Yeah,
think
yeah, I
Stain
agree.
is the far. I mean, I think at this point we can go into
Very much.
spoilers. I think at this point,
Yeah,
I
we're
think,
gonna go into spoilers. He marks a huge turning point for the villains and basically becomes like their figurehead.
yeah, I think
In a way.
Stain signifies the midpoint of the story of My Hero Academia.
Mm-hmm.
Stain, the fight with Stain is, I want to say, probably the pivotal moment in the public's view of heroes. maybe not the pale moment, but it is the moment where people start questioning: are the heroes right? Are the heroes good? Should we trust the heroes?
Mm-hmm.
And
Because basically, don't like. I mean, I believe they fully bring up like Stain's like motives and whatnot, but bringing up Stain's ideals into it basically can have people question it. You know.
yeah, I think the media did not. In My Hero Academia, I think the media did not handle the Stain situation correctly.
But I
Stain,
mean,
and this is an issue that not to go like real life political for a minute, but
it's a
for a
problem in real life,
for a
just to
second.
put it simply.
Any time we have tragedies like this in real life, the hero's agenda or the villain's agenda is always published,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how you get copycats. That is exactly what happened in the My Hero Academia story.
Yeah,
Stains
or glorifying with the victor, but
that, but like in real life, when there is a mass shooting, the terrorists or the bad person, their agenda is printed everywhere. It is shoved in your face, and people will read it. People will listen to it. Some people will agree with it, and that is how you get copycats, like what we see with Toga and Dobby and Spinner. All
mm-hmm.
three of those were people who were inspired by Stain
In different ways.
in different ways, but to go after heroes and start killing them, and to join up and become bigger.
Yeah.
And I can say with probably a certain degree of certainty, if the news did not mass release Stain's agenda, I don't think we would be where we are now in the manga.
Or at least if they downplayed it, at the very least.
Yeah, I think if they had not
It's
released,
like, I don't think you could ignore it.
you couldn't ignore it, but it would not be as bad as it is right now. I think.
Yeah.
And I think the media you could easily blame the media for what's going on in the manga.
Yeah, but I mean, just even going to like a bit later with more race and stuff with Stain and whatnot.
Yeah.
Mentioning just going back to the idolizing All Might part.
Oh yeah, you mean with the manga right now? Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, there's the scene of where basically he's talking with All Might and just like All Might's like, I'm not the man you think I am. You know, I'm just a person. You know.
Yeah, and more specifically, Stain had really important information and blatantly refused to give it to anyone but All Might.
Mm-hmm.
I think almost Stain could like Shigaraki Midoriya are mirrors. I think Stain is also another mirror of Midoriya.
Yeah.
He's another
I mean,
what Midoriya could have been if things had been different.
he also what is it he says this thing which is probably indicative of like towards his end, basically,
Mm-hmm.
of basically saying I won't be taken down by anyone but All Might.
Didn't he also
Basically.
recognize Midoriya as a true hero?
Yeah, he did.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh,
I wonder if that's why Toga has an obsession with Midoriya. Part of the reason. I mean, also we're in the spoiler section, so I can say it. Right?
yeah,
We've seen
but
that
I
there
mean,
was a kid in Toga's high school that looks shockingly similar to Midoriya.
yeah,
I wonder if
couldn't.
that. Yeah, I wonder what that's about. If it actually looked like Midoriya, if that is just her memories being so jumbled at this point that they blend together.
I honestly couldn't comment because the only arc I have not really read is the Metal Liberation Army arc.
Wow. Okay. So yeah.
I've read like most of the manga. There were just a few arcs that I
So have
just
you not
couldn't.
watched season 5 yet?
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait till we get around to the Metal Liberation Army arc and read through it then.
Okay. Because season 5 is really well done. I would recommend giving it a watch. I enjoyed it.
I mean, but when I've read like most of the content, holy cow, was the first half slow as heck.
Oh
And none of
yeah,
the Endeavor stuff.
I when I watched the first half of my hero season 5, I really was enthralled by the joint training. It was so fun to watch. But
Oh man, but week to week it's just such a killer. It was a week to week killer in the manga as well, but
in the manga, I enjoyed waiting week to week to watch it. It was always
week to week
interesting
it was week
to
to
see
week it
what.
was probably even worse than week to week in the manga,
Yeah,
in my opinion. But
probably. Um, is there anything else you want to
it's
cover on
probably just
Stain?
also because
So it's just
the anime felt like it was a snail pace, honestly, to me. But
oh, I don't know. But is there anything else you wanted to cover with Stain other than he had I want on I almost he had an idea. I can't say if he was right that there are bad heroes and that they should not be heroes. He was wrong to kill them. But
yeah, no, I mean,
yeah, I
you
think
know, there's definitely things wrong. I mean,
and
because people are people, you know,
yeah,
aren't wholly good, aren't wholly bad.
yeah. Um but yeah, I is there anything else you wanted to cover about Stain before we move on to other spoilers?
No, nothing else really.
Okay. Well, moving on. Let me go to my text document of spoilers that I have. Bakugo's hero name, jumping right off the bat. If I remember correctly, that is what was it? King Explosion Murder God Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then going from there, what I was mentioning earlier about the what you could do with Uraraka's quirk was specifically. Oh wait, you haven't seen Meta Liberation arc, have you?
Mm-hmm.
So in that arc, Toga unlocks the ability to use the quirk of the people's blood she drinks, and she uses Uraraka's quirk to murder like a dozen or so of the Meta Liberation Army. Basically, she touches them, they float up, and then she releases them, and they fall back to Earth and splat.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do some interesting things with Uraraka's quirk if you just did not have any morals.
True. Yeah.
Uh, Next question: did Ida go to Manual for Work Studies? I think he did, right?
I think so. I don't really know the name that he went to.
Yeah. Because I swear I saw a pic in season 5 when they were doing their work study flashback. I swear I saw Ida with Manual. I don't know if he was actually working under him, but he was with Manual.
I could not tell you.
All right. Next question was the one I answered myself. Did Native die in the war arc? Yes.
Did I in the world?
Yes, he was. He had his arm bitten by a Nomu in the hospital raid, and then when they did like the list of
I'm
everyone who
asking who.
died. Oh, Native.
Oh,
Native. Yeah, Native doesn't survive in the long term. He gets killed during the hospital raid.
got it.
And then my guess for your favorite fight was Mirio versus Overhaul.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last one I had was the Winged Nomu.
Really, it's like the whole Mirio and Deku.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So back to that theory I had at the end that I said I'd save to the end. The Winged Nomu is theorized to be one of Bakugo Midoriya's childhood friends. Because he is the grandson of the Quirk Doctor. Remember, or not? He was the grandson of Midoriya's Quirk Doctor, who has been revealed to be All for One's doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Which people honestly had theories on that part for a long time, and I
yeah.
find it funny that that one actually came true.
Well, I mean, you want to talk about theories that everyone got right. Let's talk about the obvious one. Dabi.
Which one? Oh, Dabi. Oh, yeah,
Dabi
that one
being
was.
Toya Todoroki.
Yeah, that one was like the most obvious one in the book.
Let's be honest. Actually, the first clue is in this arc. When Endeavor kills one of the Nomu, he uses his fire so hot that it turns blue.
Mm.
Like, Endeavor uses blue flames in this arc. Like, they weren't even trying to hide it.
No, they weren't.
But, yeah. Yeah, but it is theorized that the winged Nomu that grabs Midoriya at the end is what, or at least one of the bodies inside of that Nomu was their childhood friend who had wings and was the grandson of the Quirk Doctor.
Mm.
I don't know how necessarily true it is, but interesting theory. Yeah, that Quirk Doctor seems like one of those guys that would not care about anything.
Yeah.
I don't think family would stop him if he wanted to make a Nomu. I think Nomus are the ones he considers his family. I don't think he actually cares about his biological children. The Nomus are his real children. So that was my perspective. So what was that thing you said earlier? That was like a couple seasons from now.
Oh, there's an episode in the provisional license arc that
Oh yeah, the one that sets up the movie.
no, the stuff with Momo in the first round.
Oh, when they're like in the room that's being frozen.
I forget. It's like it had to do something with the hallway, and it had to do with Momo, Jiro, and
Sue and
yeah.
Octopus guy. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I didn't realize that was anime only. Interesting.
It's good anime only stuff.
It is
but,
good anime
yeah.
only stuff. Yeah, I did not know that. Cool.
Oh, there's like some good things. I like when they add stuff, but honestly, recently what they've just been doing is just making things slow to One Piece speed crawl, in my opinion.
Really? Because I'm graded. I also don't read the manga, but
Yeah, you don't read the manga, but I also read manga very fast, and I'm able to get through a manga chapter in like 2 minutes. So
yeah, this man read the entire Stain arc in like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
That was pretty based of him.
no, I and still wrote down notes along
Yeah,
the
no,
way.
like good job. That's the only reason this episode got done as quickly as it did. Like we are recording maybe an hour or two after finishing the finishing
What
an
will be the
episode.
most recent Demon Slayer
Yeah.
episode that goes up?
Yep, that. So
I read fast.
yes, you
Oh.
do.
That's why mostly when an anime isn't going the speed that I could read a manga chapter at, I'm mostly inclined to read the manga as well.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you for that one.
But no, otherwise, is there anything else? Or
I don't think so. I think that was everything I had.
Okay.
This is probably one of my favorite arcs. I mean, other than Ida becomes a hypocrite later on, but that's
In
not.
what way?
Remember in the All for One rescue thing
Oh yeah. He's
where he decks Midoriya in the face for even daring to think about going on out without a license?
yeah.
Hypocrite.
Doesn't he end up going out anyways?
Oh, he
Though,
does.
or
He
actually,
goes with Midoriya.
yeah. So I'm like,
Yeah, but he's like, I mean, I get why he didn't want Midoriya. I mean, he even mentions like, I don't want you to make the same mistakes I did, but
yeah, no, I get it, but at the same time,
I get it. But
I
like,
do agree.
bro, you totally did it first.
um, yeah. Other than that, just
Oh right, I need to watch. Yeah, go for it. I'm just setting up. You can end it. I'm working on setting up for an episode of Hyrule. Nope, Destiny's Everlasting. That's our title. I definitely know our own title.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I was just gonna ask for like any just closing thoughts on this arc.
I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. I'm excited for the next arc.
No, honestly, I'm looking forward to more of the arcs from now.
Why so?
Um, best fights in the anime.
Oh, yeah. Okay, no, 2 arcs from now. Yeah, that makes sense. Wait, no. What? Wait, did you say 2 arcs from now?
Yeah.
Oh, is it the fight?
Mm-hmm. The fight.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one too.
I mean, it was good in the manga, but holy cow, did the anime elevate that one?
Yeah, they did. Wait. Okay, we're talking about All for One and All Might, right?
Yes.
Okay, because like I was thinking, 2 arcs from now, that could be the other fight that I was thinking of was Midoriya versus Muscular.
I don't know. I don't hate the muscular fight. Let me just put that out there. I just it's fine.
Yeah, I like the Muscular fight.
I don't hate it. I like what it does, but like, if we want to talk about actual like fight.
That's fair. Let me get Skyward Sword put in.
Anyways, I'm gonna end it here. So thanks for watching, and be sure to do the stuff that everyone says to do. So
Like, comment, and subscribe,
if you
folks.
want. If you want. Anyways, goodbye.
Goodbye.